Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Boozy Botanical Podcast. My name is Holly.
I'm Angelique.
And happy Boozy Tuesday. Woo!
Hello. We're back. I'm excited.
We are back with another episode. How are you doing, Angelique?
I'm well. I'm excited to talk to you because the last time we recorded was with the boys. So it's like we didn't get to do like our personal catch up, really. So
That's
I'm really
true.
looking forward to this. Yeah.
I know. Me too. Oh,
How are you, Holly? And what are you drinking?
I'm good. I am drinking. Okay. It's a new hard seltzer. For those looking or watching on YouTube, you can see it's a pretty cool can. So it's called Funky Buddha Premium Hard Seltzer, and it's exotic passion fruit, dragon fruit flavor. And I must say, it's really good. Only 90 calories, 1 gram of carbs, 0 sugars. So it's a vibe.
Yes. Pretty guiltless overall.
I think so. Now the alcohol percentage is like 4%. So, whatever.
Whoopsies, yeah.
And also, oh, sorry. What are you drinking?
Sorry, I'll be quick.
No.
So I'm having a mango gin and juice, I guess. Sorry, no. I said that wrong. A gin and mango juice. It's not mango gin. So
that would be cool though. Mango gin.
Yes. Oh my God, I know. So I believe I've told you guys on the podcast that I really like a fruit punch from Arizona iced tea. Well, they released a mango juice cocktail version. So I bought it this week because I love mango and I wanted to see how it tasted. It's good. And again, with the Arizona iced teas, it's nice because their juices are a little bit watered down. I think because gotta keep the tea element. So it's really good because again, it's not overbearingly sweet. Like I could easily have a glass and not feel like disgustingly sugary. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's really nice. And I just have some New Amsterdam that we really need to get rid of. So I've been just pouring a little gin here and there whenever I can.
I need to get on that too with the gin cocktails because I swear we still have a giant Bombay gin from like our wedding.
Jesus. Oh my God. Tell the listeners, Holly, how much alcohol you had post-wedding.
We had so much. Do you remember, Angelique, like how much alcohol we had?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't there at the wedding because I didn't know you then. Literally met her like 2 months later, guys. It's so weird. It's so rude.
Isn't that so unfair? I know.
I would have had so much fun. But
I think you would have had fun. But yeah, I had
a huge cabinet, right?
The whole cabinet in 2 apartments ago. And we just had so much left over because we essentially bought the alcohol. We bought all the alcohol. We had a bartender, but basically we said, okay, we supply the alcohol and then they do the things. So, us being the, I guess, alcoholics that we are, just kidding. But, we're just like, well, we don't want to run out of booze. Like we want to have a good party. So we went a little crazy at Costco and ended up having a lot left over.
And we all know Costco drinks are supersized anyway. So you had the big Bombay. It's like,
yes. Honestly, though, like if you guys regularly drink, whatever kind of booze, whatever kind of liquor you fancy, go to Costco because it's such a good deal. It's like regular price, but in supersized.
Yes, it's crazy. When I was living in Northridge, which is an area of LA, for those of you who don't know, it's like deeper in the San Fernando Valley. Northridge Earthquake, if you need a context in history. Yeah. So
or like next to Reseda, like the Karate Kid.
Exactly.
I used to live in Reseda, so
that's right. So what happened? Oh, so I lived there with 4 of the roommates. We had this beautiful house and we decided to do a house party. And I was like, guys, we're going to Costco. And we got the biggest vodka I've ever seen. It was like the Kirkland brand, Oh,
gosh.
It will get you through the apocalypse. It's so big. It's crazy.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah. But Holly, I feel like I cut you off earlier right before you asked what I was drinking.
Well, I was going to say because of my drink, it's like a different alcohol because I'm coming at you guys from the Everglades in Florida. So
Ah!
we're actually in Everglades City and we stopped off at a pretty nice gas station. Honestly, it's like really cute. And they had these Funky Buddha hard seltzers. And yeah, so
It's
that's,
a
I
really
guess,
cute can.
it's cute. Yeah. So I guess that's sort of just going into my weekly update is I am here in the Everglades. I was here last week too, but when I found out like, hey, I think I can actually go to the Aeroid show in Miami.
Ah!
Our family was still here at an Airbnb. So they're like, yeah, your room is still available. Just come on back. So we are going to go, and that is
Ah!
tomorrow. I'm very excited, and yeah, I just can't wait.
Is the Everglades like a suburb of Miami?
So it's like the Everglades National Park. If you guys watch Dexter, it's like where he drops off the bodies for the alligators to eat.
Oh
No, but it's actually really beautiful. People come here to fish. There's like this really cool nature drive that we took and we saw tons of alligators. It's just like a very beautiful, very wild nature experience, if you will.
Yeah.
And Tyson's family, they come here like, at least like once or twice a year. They love it, for like fishing and all that. But it was our first time here and it's a really cool experience. We're just taking it all in. And
Yeah.
we also did a lot of plant shopping up in Naples, which is about 30 minutes, kind of more towards headed to Tampa. So basically,
Okay.
the Everglades is like the very, like kind of like the tip of Florida besides the Keys. So
Okay.
you're in the middle between Miami and Tampa. But Naples
Ah, cool.
is a really sweet little town. It's actually there's a lot of money in Naples and it's super beautiful. There's lots of shopping. And I picked up a philodendron billietier while I was there. It
Ah!
was a gift from my friend Jen. And we just had a
Oh,
lot of fun. So yeah, it's been quite the adventure out here. And stay tuned for the Aeroid show. I'm really looking forward to it.
oh my gosh. I'm so excited for you. Yeah, because you're in a hotel right now, for those of you watching.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, it's a little bit different of a background. But yeah, I'm super stoked. I never like honestly, I've been wanting to go to the Aeroid show for years, ever since I've been into plants. And obviously last year we couldn't go, because the pandemic.
Was it canceled?
So I think what they did was they pushed it. So back in February of 2021, they had another sale show and then they're
Oh,
picking it back up because it's traditionally always in September.
right.
So they're doing it again this year. I believe it is all outdoors, which is nice because in years past it's always been in a small room, which obviously we don't really want to be indoors with a bunch of people.
Right.
So it's going to be outdoors and people are
That's
very
nice.
spread out. So I feel pretty comfortable, with everything. I've been trying to be super safe and I mean, we're out in the middle of nowhere, so I'm like I feel good about that. But
Good.
yeah, in regards to the show, I'm looking forward to it and they seem to really be like taking the precautions and all that. So very excited to report back to you guys,
Oh my
hopefully with some
gosh.
plants and
That's what I wanted to know going into this. That way we can have an update when we talk next. Is
yes.
there a do you I'm sure there's a budget, but do you have a budget for the Aeroid show? And do you have specific dreams of finding certain plants? Like what is on the wish list for the show?
Yeah, so I would say I don't really have the biggest budget. Like I know a lot of people go in and they'll buy like, 10 to 20 plants, which I think is like so
Crazy.
awesome. I'm kind of going to go a little bit more easy, I think, just because like I don't know, the holidays are around the corner.
Oh my
But
god, they're sneaking up on us.
they are, but I will say I'm interested to see what the prices are going to be like because I've been watching YouTube videos of past sales and shows, and I've felt like 6 months ago, they were the most expensive that I've noticed for the show. And that was really like the height of like the plant like how popular this hobby has become. The height of it really was like obviously 2020 and early 2021. So now with the prices kind of coming down and people going back to work, I'm interested to see. I feel like maybe they'll be a little cheaper. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping. But as far as like dream plants, I would really love to find a Florida Beauty, which is like the variegated, kind of like the Florida Ghost, if you guys know, but it's a variegated leaf. I would also love to find a Strawberry Shake and maybe a variegated banana and a Ring of Fire. Now, of course,
oh my God.
I know. Now, of course, with like the Strawberry Shake and the Florida Beauty, those are typically very pricey. I think right now they're still in like the 300 range. So if they're above 100, if they're above 200, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it, but we will see.
Ring of Fire, it's a harder to find plant as well, right?
It is. I feel like that thing has gone up and down in price. Like it was like a moderate price a few years ago, and then it kind of sneaked up to around like the 200 range.
Right.
There is a shop, and I'm kind of blanking on the name, but they've been saying on like their IG, they're like, yeah, we're going to be there. And here's some of the plants we're going to have. One of which is the Ring of Fire. And they said in quote, affordable plants. So
oh my God. So like if you see a 4-inch Ring of Fire, what's a good deal? Or like, what's something that you would go for, you think?
I mean, if I could find something under 100, under 100 would be really cool. Of course, I don't want to speak too soon because if I'm so like incredibly off, I'm going to feel dumb.
They're like, it's $500.
Well, you know what's funny, dude? That reminds me with the Billy Etier, we were at it just kind of reminds me with the price thing because we were at Williams Magical Garden. Shout out, you people are lovely. They are so great there. I found the Billy Etier back in their greenhouse area where the plants weren't for sale. And I was peeking through and it was in a pot that said $16.99. And I was like, oh, what? I was like, wait, I'm like, there's no way it's $16.99, but let me just ask. And so they're like, yeah, that's $160. They're like, we actually recycle pots. So although it says $16.99, it's $159.
Wait, so they were like, the 1.6 was correct, but it's missing a 0.
Yes. But I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I really want this plant. It's fine. And then my friend was like, it's a housewarming gift. So she bought it for me.
You're like, you guys provided the house. I think that's the gift.
I know, right? I'm like, the housewarming. I'm like, the house is warm. It's okay.
So utilities pristine, friends.
Yes.
Oh, that's so funny.
Anyway,
that was really sweet of her. Oh my God.
I know. Is that so nice?
That's really cool. Oh,
yeah.
I'm so happy for you. And oh my God. Sorry, guys. I know I keep stretching Holly's update, but we're twinsies now. We both have big orbifolias.
Yes, that was another plant that I picked up at Williams Magical Garden Center. Dude, it was $24 and it's in like a 6-inch pot, but it's full. It's a big boy, which you saw.
I almost passed out. I was like, yes. Can you believe the one you and I picked up for me, which was like, I think in early February, finally put out a new leaf. Like this.
Did it really? Was that the first leaf I've given you?
Since I got it. Yeah. It's been kind of weird because you know how she had some parts of it were crispy?
That's
I've been sort of trying to rehab it. Plus, it's like I keep forgetting to fill up the humidifier. So I think like sometimes it's happy with humidity and sometimes it's like, ugh. So but the new leaf came out. It looks great. There's a little like crease in it. Like maybe it waited a while to open. But overall, it looks really happy. And I think I have a second leaf coming in finally. So I'm like, yes.
Awesome. I feel like once they get going, they really get going.
Yeah, they need a nudge, I think. Yeah. But I'm gonna send you pictures because some of my leaves, I can't remember if it was like this when I bought it, but some of the borders, they're not crispy, but there's like yellow spots. It's weird, but only certain ones have it. I don't know if it's just like if maybe like when she had it, it was sunburned, or if I've done something. So I'm trying to just be consistent with watering. That's where I mess up. But
Well,
whatever.
okay, we're getting there.
I honestly don't think the crispiness ever grew after she gave it to me. So I feel like that's a good sign.
Yeah, I think I liked your environment, honestly.
For sure. Yeah. But
Well,
speaking of
yes.
environment, I got a
Yes.
little update for you guys.
Okay, yes,
Um,
going into you. Tell us.
Holly knows about it. It's my alocasia update, and I brought show and tell.
Oh my
Check
goodness.
these out, guys. Oh my god, look if you're watching on YouTube, look how big they are compared to my
You're
face.
both
Okay, ready?
stunning.
Ah!
Oh my goodness.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my
So
god, look, not a single blemish in sight, guys. Look at that.
stunning.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. So tell us, you found a good deal on these, right? On Facebook Marketplace?
I think I paid I think I paid 70 for both, so 35 each from the
That's
same
really
seller.
good. That's
Yeah,
really good.
she had them, I think, for like, I think she originally would have gotten 80 for both or 90. Like, I didn't haggle severely, I just haggled a little bit. But I figured, like, if I were to see just one of those and it was 30 to 35 in a store, I would have gone for it. And that's kind of the deal I got. And I was
Wow.
shocked because, like, to me they look like they're a decent sized leaves, but like they look like when I first see just the leaves, I'm like, oh, you're probably in a 4-inch. But she has like this is dragon scale, right?
Yep, dragon
It's
scale.
in like
Oh,
this huge
honey.
6-inch orchid pot with a huge root system. And like, I was gonna show you this, Holly. I don't know if I can show you on the computer. I'm gonna try. It has like these bulbs growing out of it. Let me try to.
Yes, with little babies.
So like, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna grow from there? Or do I need to pull those off?
You can pull them off. You can pull them
What if
off
I
and stick them in like sphagnum moss or something.
what if I don't pull them off? Will it
What
become a
if you don't?
big bushy? Will it become a big bushy dragon
Yeah.
scale? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not touching it. I didn't know like if they need to come off. You know what I
No,
mean?
they don't. Oh yeah, by the way, everyone, she has a cupria and a dragon scale. I don't
Oh,
think we mentioned that.
sorry. Yes, guys, a cupria and a dragon scale. The dragon scale is in like a big, very generous 6-inch orchid pot. Like it's
Yeah.
huge. Like it's a very big 6-inch.
Yeah.
Wonderful chunky mix. And then the cupria is in like what you would say maybe is like a 5.5 inch, like a taller
It's kind of
plastic.
deep. Yeah. Like tall. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and like you can tell this girl was a pro. She has all the little drilled holes at the bottom. I'm making
Yes.
fun of you. And then it's just like it has a new growth coming in as well. There's a leaf that's like bent on its side, but because the cupria is such a dark color, I can't tell if it's dying or not.
Yeah. Well, honestly,
I
with
imagine it is.
alocasias are always in the 3-leaf club, like no matter what, I feel like. So it's
That's
fine.
why I think it's so crazy when you see one that has like 6 leaves, pounce, and they're all thriving.
Yes. Now, the one upside to alocasias, though, with losing so many leaves, is I feel like each new leaf gets bigger and bigger.
That's the thing. Like, it's a give and take for sure because
Yeah.
it's like, all right, like there's only going to be 2 of us or 1 of us, but we're going to be massive.
Yes. So, I'm here for it. I'm like, you're so beautiful. You can do whatever you want. You can drop leaves. It's fine.
I think they're good statement moments, like in a beautiful pot, just like one gorgeous leaf,
Yeah.
Speaking of, I have the Maharani as well. Today I finally cut off the
Yeah.
original leaf because it just kept slumping.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think it's time because I see a growth point that won't grow. And I think it's like, so I was like, it's like not even a growth point. It's like, you see like on a Monstera, the little point where you could get pregnant if you wanted
Just a
to.
little nub or something.
Yeah, barely. Like the tiniest thing where it's like, I know you want to put one out, but you're not. So I finally decided just to cut off that old leaf because it's getting discolored. I'm hoping in like a week or 2.
So how many leaves does it have now?
Just 1. So
Okay.
when I bought it, it had 1 leaf, and the girl that had it, you can tell that it had probably gotten crispy because she cut around it. But it was nice because it didn't continue to crisp, so it looked pretty good. It was like instead of an alocasia having a pointy end, it had a curved end because of how she cut it. It was really cute though, and then it put out a second leaf in the spring, like early spring, like maybe March or April. No, I bought it in April. So like in May or June, I guess in May, it put out a leaf and they were both doing fine. But then the last like 2 months, honestly, I water it. The original leaf would perk up a little, but then very quickly slump again. And it was starting to finally yellow. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, just
That's
turn
what it's
yellow
about.
so I know, you know? And if
Stop trying
anybody's
to hold on.
yeah, and if anybody's a pro at alocasia, DM me because you know how gorgeous it is when like it's looking at you straight ahead, but then sometimes they go sideways. Like, what
Yeah,
does
maybe
that
it's
mean?
looking
Are
for
they
light.
just dancing? That's what. But like,
I think it's looking for light because they surprisingly want a good amount of light.
so
You know what
that's
I'm
what I.
saying?
So my Maharani is on my top shelf in the Fabricor, and she's like, so I'm just like, I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Like, are you mad or are you just dancing? So if you're dancing, live your life, girl. Like, enjoy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Let us know, please.
yeah, but like it started. I
No.
feel like it started curving when the other leaf was doing poorly. So I don't know if it was like getting stressed.
I know that's what mine do when they're like on their way out. They're like, whoop. You know what I mean?
So I think it's safe to assume with this Capria, I'll show you guys again this first leaf. I'm guessing she's on the way out, but
In her
I'm
own
like,
timing.
yeah, in her own time. And then the dragon scale is like happy, but like it's definitely like
Oh, look at the back of that leaf
oh my
too.
god,
That's one of my other
look
favorite
at
parts.
that. Isn't that beautiful?
That's like a white with like these maroon or eggplant stripes.
A
Oh,
rib, yes, it's so beautiful. I actually just cut off a leaf the other day that was super like I bought it and it was already yellowed and she just
yeah.
hadn't cut it. But like see how it's like it's not looking at you straight on, it's a little sideways. So I'm just like I hope it's happy, you
I think
know?
it is. It looks really healthy.
I've had them for about 2 weeks and there has been no crisping because she had it on like a very humid environment. So I
Yeah.
was nervous, but I've been able to hold like a 70% humidity in my cabinet. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
that keeps up. So, but
Oh,
yeah, but
thanks.
Holly, can you introduce our plant mommy of the week, please?
Absolutely. This week we have a beautiful human who is Jen of the Jungle, aka
Ah!
Jen Floats. Hey, girl.
Hi, Jen.
Oh my gosh, I love Jen so much. We go back. We go back a little bit. She is
You do.
a plant trade pal, a customer of Concrete Botanical, always showing support.
That
And
is so nice.
yes, she has a really lovely collection from aeroids to Hoya. I think she even has, I think she has some orchids and a little bit of cacti action. So she is a really awesome, well-rounded account to follow. I think you guys will
Super.
really, yeah. Also, she throws in like some personal life stuff and she's just really fun. I love following her. She's really active on stories. So yeah, if you guys aren't following Jen, you need to.
She's in West LA, right?
She's in West LA. Yes.
And you guys, one thing, hold on, give me one sec. Oh, there we go. Yes, I just want to make sure I want to make sure I got the URL correct. But she's also a creator of a website called hopeyoulikeplants.com. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
I think
That's
it's fair.
awesome.
Yeah, I think it's fairly new. But yeah, it's that if you guys are interested in seeing, I imagine it's more of like her blog, you know. It
Yeah.
seems like a really cool site. And she also I space, so if this was said, I'm so sorry. But did you mention Sheba?
No, I forgot.
No, you got to. Oh my god. If you guys follow her whittle Sheba at Deep Fried Katsu, which is the best handle in the world. Oh my god. Like so
Adorable. You guys
yeah.
know, like, if anybody has a dog or any kind of pets, I'm like immediately more likely to follow you because I love it.
You make the cut as long as you have a dog.
That sounded so, I don't know. But you know what I mean. I love dogs.
No, it's totally okay. But yeah, it's her little one, so cute.
It's
And
so
yes, you guys,
cute.
I've been checking out her website. Hope you like plants, and it's a blog. There she includes a house plant glossary as well.
How
That part's coming soon. So it's a really cute website, and you can find all the other info on her there as well.
She's also a fellow Fabricor sister. I believe she has a IKEA greenhouse cabinet, same as Angelique's, and it's so beautiful. So yeah,
So you guys check her out at Jenna the Jungle with two N's, if I'm not
Two
mistaken.
N's. Yep.
Yes. So JENN of the Jungle. Thank you, Jen. We appreciate you. We love you.
Mommy.
Speaking of the Fabricor, how you mentioned this, I'll be very quick. When you were mentioning in your update, prices really going down as people go back to work. I'm shocked at how many established built greenhouses, like IKEA greenhouses, are being sold on Facebook.
I know, right?
It's crazy.
I saw one yesterday, actually, fairly close to my house. It was fully decked out. The only thing missing were the shelves. And I'm like, well, that's fine because, there's a lot of Etsy sellers that sell like acrylic shelves like you have, Angelique. But dude, they kind of messed it up.
What happened?
Okay, so they had spray painted the inside, which they probably did for like water, like retention, to hold in the moisture. But then they also they use like this clear like caulk around the sides instead of just putting weather stripping. But it looked
that's ugly.
It looked bad.
Like caulk, like that, like, is it like that rubbery looking caulking? Yes. That's like, ew.
It wasn't straight. It was like, I'm throwing so much shade. I'm sorry, but they'll remain this.
You're probably a nice person.
I don't know who they are personally, so it's fine. But
yeah,
it was like in different little like strokes, and they had, it just did not look good. So, and it was still expensive. I think it was like $250. I'm like,
it's a passion project. Was it the Fabricor?
It was the Fabricor tall, and I'm like, I really want one of those. Again, no shade, no hate, just not for me. So.
Right.
But it came with everything.
You can keep your cock to yourself.
Keep your cock to yourself, bro. No, but you're right though. I have noticed that. Like, I mean, not so much in my area because I'm in a little bit more of a smaller town, but it's pretty crazy.
It's insane. So you guys, let's get Holly a Fabricor tall. That's the goal now.
As long as it has no caulking in it.
Right. Sans caulking. We're a no caulk zone here on the Boozy Botanical Podcast.
Oh gosh. Yep.
Well, Holly, what are we talking about today? Speaking of, having a lot of plants, if you will.
Yes, and people selling all their Fabricor fully. So we are talking about plant burnout, and I got this idea from a handful of people actually who have been talking about this subject, and I really think it's so intriguing and it's worth talking about. I know 100%. Potted Together did an episode on downsizing your plants. Wild Fern has downsized a lot of her plants. Good and Planty on YouTube has talked about this. So yeah, there's just a lot to be said, I think, and a lot of interesting topics. So yeah, basically what we mean by plant burnout is when you just start to feel very overwhelmed with your plant collection to a point where it's no longer an enjoyable hobby for you and it's more of a burden. And, we got into plants because they are so great for our mental health and they are so relaxing. And, essentially we get a lot out of plants, but I think we've all been there where we're looking at our collection and we're just like, what the fuck did I do? I'm so overwhelmed. I have so many plants, especially if you mix in getting a pest. And of course, your mental health is always more important than plants. So today we're just going to talk about some things that you can do that might help with the plant burnout feeling. Have you ever experienced this, Angelique? You know what I mean?
A few times. I'm kind of experiencing it right now a little bit. As I just show you guys plants I just bought, but I think I'm trying to leave this phase of just like, if a friend wants to give me a plant, like I just take it. Like I think I need to like really realize what I love and what I'm not crazy about, because then I'm ending up with a ton of plants that I can't handle. And I think too, it's just like sometimes I get discouraged if something goes the wrong way. Like my string of pearls burnt again, and it's like I'm looking at it and there's not much left of it, and it's like I know I could trim you and put you in water, but I just keep not doing it. So it's like getting discouraged when I guess sometimes things go wrong, which like naturally things are gonna die. Like this is a hobby. This isn't shoes. Like this is a hobby where even shoes deteriorate. It's like, it's something where it's
Yeah.
like parts of this is always going to be dying, and like the
Right.
sun is a thing, and overwatering or underwatering is a thing. And I think it's like trying to remind myself that it's okay to mess up. Like
Yeah.
I feel bad. I think like we humanize plants a lot, which is a good thing. I think it's like like I like to, like I'm like, they have feelings and they don't want it, you know,
Yes.
like of course I know they're like, I think they're sentient to a point. Like I know they can feel, I don't know, I'm not trying to get, you know what I mean? Like they're a
Yes.
living thing. They're a living thing. So I think we feel a lot of guilt when things go wrong, but I
Yeah.
think it's remembering that it's okay. And something that you told me years ago that really stuck with me is like, they want to live. So they're going to give you time, I feel, before they die, usually. So I think with me, I'm at a point right now where I just need to really look at my collection and what do I have just because I just have it, because it's like, oh, I've had it since the beginning, or I saw a good clearance at Lowe's. So I bought
Right.
plants that I know are a good deal for what they are, but I didn't actually like need them.
Or
So
Holly gave you a bunch of plants when she was moving and you took them.
I know I am actually giving away one of those.
That's
I
okay.
I I've kept a lot of them, but it was, oh, speaking of, remember how you gave me a teeny, it was lightly rooted, and it was a Hoya carry and it looked like it was like a stick, like it looked like it probably wasn't variegated. It
Yeah.
had like, did you know it was reverted, or was it just a green one in your eyes?
It was reverted from my reversed variegated, but at times it would put out variegated leaves.
So the girl I traded with a girl for an Obavata cutting. I gave her that. She
Nice.
gave me 2 cuttings, and I gave her the carry and I think something else. She
Yeah.
messaged me like a week ago and she's like, look, she's like, I had no idea it was variegated.
That's
And I was
awesome.
like, it put out 2 or 3 consistent leaves, Holly.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm
That
really
makes
happy
me really
for her. I'll
happy.
send you the pictures later. So I guess that's an example of like, Holly gave me some goodwill, and I realized like I took all the goodwill, but I needed to know my limit. So there was a few
Yeah.
cuttings you gave me that I was like, I need to get rid of these. And I think 1 or 2 died. So it's like,
And that's
you know,
okay.
but in that moment, it was like, okay, I know I want to get into Hoya. And this is a Hoya, but I had a carry already. So it
Right.
was like, I think it was more just like, this is very just like small. And it was a very long stick with like a leaf in the middle. So it was like, you know what? I need,
Project.
it was cute. It was cute though. I was like, I need space. And it was just allowing myself, like forgiving myself and being like, it's okay. Just like
Yes.
let someone who wants to love it. Because I think it's so easy to be like, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. It's not going to die. It's not going to die. But you get so overwhelmed that you don't deal with it,
Yes.
that it dies. And it's like, if I just manned up and was like, you know what? I know someone else can love this more than me. It'll
Yeah.
be okay. Like you saw on a local LA group, I gave away my Peperomia Hope.
Oh,
So
yes. Yes.
I
saw
was
that.
sad, but it was dropping leaves left and right. I lost like 3 stalks. And it was just like,
Wow.
and that's my second Hoya. No, sorry, that's my second Peperomia Hope that's like gone berserk. My first one lasted a long time and then it got weird. So I got rid of that one as well. And it's just kind of like, I think I just need to wait until I think I either need to have a backyard space where I can maybe have one outside.
Right.
Because I think I know we've talked about the watering on that one needs to be consistent, but also I've seen people have them outside and they're so lush. I think it's just like a happy
Yeah.
it's like an outdoor Peperomia, I feel.
Yeah. So that's a lot of good things you mentioned there about like, we always do feel a little guilty when it comes
Right.
to gifting plants. And that was one of the things I was going to say is like rehoming your plants is a really good way to help with
It's cathartic.
some of the plant burnout. I mean, I always feel so guilty, like, oh, I should hang on to this plant. And you don't know why, but it's actually okay. It's better to, like you said, let someone experience the joy, and seeing somebody so excited to receive one of your plants does sort of help ignite your love for plants again, because you just see how excited they are. And
Right.
and it's nice too, because with a smaller collection, Fern was talking about this on her YouTube video. You're able to just enjoy your plants so much more. Like you'll notice when notice when they need to be repotted, and you kind of just have more to do with your plant collection versus
Right.
always trying to catch up. So it becomes more of a fun hobby again versus like you were saying, you get so overwhelmed and then you just don't do it, So if something
Shut
like
down.
if 10 plants need to be repotted and another 10 have spider mites and this one's looking weird, you can just put it all off. Versus if you have only a couple that, hey, need to be repotted or this, you can really just like, take care of them so much more and it becomes more fun. So I just think it's so true,
Definitely. I think especially, I think it's something I've discovered ever since having the greenhouse because the fabric tall specifically is so compact.
Yeah.
I've stuffed a lot of plants in there. Like I don't like it when it's crowded, so I need to do some revamping. But I've noticed like it's gonna sound so weird because we've talked about how much we love decor via plants, and I love having plants everywhere. I do, but I've noticed having a lot of them in one spot, I've been able to be like, that's my plant corner, and I can like check them really easily and like go over them. And I noticed that some of my plants that aren't in the cabinet get neglected a lot more, I think, because I can just like walk past them and not notice anything. But
it's so true.
Yeah, it's because it's probably like that for your Mars Hydro a little bit.
Yes, I feel like now that gets so crowded too. And it's hard because, I just zip it up. I'm like, I'll deal with you later. So sometimes it's a little bit reverse. Like sometimes those get neglected because like it depends on if I want to open the, unzip it and look at everybody, which I end up doing every day because I still don't have a timer for my light. So I'm manually turning them on. But yeah, I totally get that. Like I think especially if you can, and I need to take my own advice when it comes to this, having plants in your bedroom can be good and bad because it is such a calming effect to see them. But if you have so many in there and they're kind of like, having issues, because they say your bedroom should be a very serene, calming place where you only sleep. So if you're dealing with a pest problem or whatever, it just, it gets too close to home, I guess you can say. It's just
you can't relax.
You can't relax. And it just becomes like way too overwhelming.
Right.
So another thing that I was going to say that this has really helped me when I feel just like in a funk and I'm not so much into my plants is or if I'm just trying not to buy so many, because I don't really believe in plant bans because I think it's like saying you're going to go on a diet and you're restricting yourself. But I do feel like there are times when we need to reel it in and be like, okay, let's not buy so many plants. So one thing that I've started doing is journaling about my plants. Now, of course, when you guys have a whole lot, it can be a little overwhelming. Like, how am I supposed to like journal all my plants? But what I've started doing is just go with the ones you've gotten most recently and then go back from there. So the only plants that I have journaled about so far are ones that I bought since moving. And it's actually really fun. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. I'll just write down the plant, the size it was when I bought it. You can write where you bought it, how much, where you are going to put it, or if you don't have a permanent spot for it yet. And it's supposed to be fun, so it doesn't have to be crazy and overwhelming. And if it is overwhelming, then just don't do it. But that it's fun. So yeah, they also have there's a really cool plant journal by Tyler Thrasher called Grow a Dam. And I would love right now I'm just doing it like on a piece of paper or like I have my iPad. So but I hear his journal is awesome. So if you guys want to pick up his journal and just try it from there, I think that can be really helpful. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think that's really therapeutic too, just because like even in therapy they say journal your feelings or whatever. Like I think one, it's nice to just remember like when did I get this? Like that's kind of cool because you don't have to just be scrolling through your iPhone hoping you can find a picture of the day you were at the nursery and be like, that's when I bought it. But
it's so true. I'm like, wow, like I've had this for that long or I haven't had it that long, So I think it's pretty cool. Another thing that I find helps when I'm in a slump is to repot or do plant maintenance, and just really try to focus on giving your plants everything they need instead of trying to like get more plants, so like I've had a variegated obovata in the same pot for a long time, and it just wasn't doing a whole lot. So I'm like, let me just repot you. And, it kind of allows you to get into like this flow state, as they say, where, it's like therapeutic, like, like you were saying, you just start watering or you start repotting, and that can help a lot. But if that doesn't help, I just suggest spending time away from your plants. Honestly, like, as they say, distance makes the heart grow fonder.
True.
When I just am not feeling it, it's best not to force anything. So although I find that these tips really help a lot, if you're just like, I can't even look at my plants, then don't, like, it's okay. As we said, like, mental health is way more important than if your plants live or not, And sometimes I go through phases where I'm sure you do too, Angelique, because we both love home decor and interior decorating.
God, yeah.
And I'll just throw myself into that. And I think it's really fun. Of course, I like styling with plants, but I'm more focused on furniture and decor pieces.
Paint or like art or whatever.
And art, yeah. And you guys know I make like terrazzo pots, so I'll just do that. And like, it's just important to like revisit your other hobbies and activities that you like, like
it's okay to have other ones too.
Yes, it is totally okay. So, and I think a lot of people are sorry, I'm sitting on a bed because, like I said, I'm in an Airbnb.
Oh, it's okay.
That's what I'm doing. But yeah, I think a lot of people are dealing with this because, during quarantine, everyone was home and they really just got into plants and we're doing that all day, every day. And now that there's not a lot of time to do that, or they just don't feel like doing it, like maybe you liked going outside more or playing sports and you couldn't do that during quarantine. And now that you can, do that.
So yeah, like if you were an athlete before all this, go be an athlete. Like it's okay. Like,
yeah,
I think it's like, I don't like the one thing you see sometimes, and like I feel like the true plant lovers don't usually do this, but like there's some people that pick up a hobby lightly. Like, when someone has the personality where they just get really obsessed with something and they can move on to the next thing.
Yes.
It's like, don't trash them if they're alive. Like I think that's the one thing that like will irk me sometimes. Like if something's dead, fine, of course throw it away. But like if you see that there's life, at least, I like to like give the plant enough respect to be like, you know what? I'm just going to give it. Because I think some people, they get caught up too with like what I spent on it. Yeah. And it's like, sometimes you have to just like eat the cost. And like, it shouldn't always be about money, but eat the cost and understand like, if nobody's going to buy your dying fancy plant because it's so rehab worthy. Like, but you're like, don't just, if you have the means to, just give it away. And
I think it helps a lot.
That's a real gift for someone if they're like, oh my God, like it would be like if Lacey decided just to trash those cuttings we bought for $30, rather than just like at the very, like if nobody was buying them, being like, just come take them. Because like, what if it works out? Like that's a gift for somebody else too. It's
kind of like what we were saying, like seeing other people so excited to receive one of your plants makes you feel good. And also, if you take some time away from your plants, you can come back to them with like a fresh set of eyes. Like I know I've done that. Like I've been into plants for a really, really long time, and that's happened to me too, where I'm like, I don't feel like making plant content, or I don't feel like, or I'm just like not super, super in love with them at the moment. But if I spend some time away, then I come back and I'm like, oh, you've grown so much, or you've put out new leaves. And so, it's too much of anything can be unhealthy. So giving yourself a chance to breathe and get away from them, I think will help you a lot.
Just got me thinking, Holly.
Mm-hmm.
Something else, this might be contradictory to everything we're saying, but if you're someone, let's say you're someone who like you're getting into high-end collecting, like you have fancy aeroids, fancy anthuriums, fancy blah, 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 blah. And some of these plants are known to be more finicky. If you're someone that's going that route where you're like, skip the pothos, skip the philodendrons, skip all the ones that are generally easier, and you're feeling overwhelmed because everything's getting crispy or whatever, you're just having environment issues, maybe just go to a cheap like hardware store, whatever, and just buy a pothos for cheap and just see it do well. Because I think sometimes that's enough to get me out of a funk. Like I'll see everything dying and I'm like, why am I doing this? Like this, like I'm not worthy. But then like I go to my room and I see my one little pothos, my little $5 pothos, and she's thriving and like,
Yes.
overtaking the bedroom with like these huge, not
It is so
tendrils,
true.
like it's just like, oh, you're doing fine. And if you're doing fine, I can be fine.
Yeah, and I think that's why so many people, even with these fancy collections, still have pothos or trailing philodendrons because they're just so giving. And a lot of times it's people's first plant. So there's that little bit of like, attachment to it. But I totally agree with that. Like, if you guys have never had a pothos, dude, I'm telling you, that's what really got me into like taking care of plants and propagating, so
they propagate well. They forgive you if you forget for 3 weeks. Like they perk back up after a day. You might lose some leaves, but they're a reminder that it's going to be okay. Like my whole wall behind me, for those watching, besides one spider plant, it's all philos and a pothos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lie. I have an
the monstera.
But like still, no, it's not a philodendron. I always say it's a philodendron. It's not. But you know what I mean? Like
I get you.
My whole wall, like my statement wall in the house, isn't any of my bougie plants. The most bougie one is the silver stripe. But like I know like people can come over and be like, wow, like look how good you are. And I'm like, yeah. And I don't tell them they're the easiest plants I own.
Exactly. You're like, I just have a green thumb. I'm a green goddess.
I don't know how it happens.
Everybody's a green goddess, though. I just want you to know that. If you're feeling down, you are still a green goddess.
Yes.
But no, that's so true. Buy a freaking pothos, man. Do it.
Right. Like it's not going to break your bank. And like, honestly, they grow so fast that I see people on Facebook being like, pick up cuttings because it still won't stop.
Oh my God. I know, dude. I have to admit, I used to have a giant golden pothos. It would just grow nonstop. It was in my downtown apartment because it had a southeast facing window. At one point, I was throwing cuttings away.
Oh no, because there's so much.
Just so much. It's like a weed.
It low-key is like,
yeah, it's invasive, as we know.
So yeah, so the big one I think I've talked about that my friend Travis gave me when he moved to Mexico. It's not on the fridge anymore because we got a new fridge and it doesn't have like a ledge anymore.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh yeah. So because the fridge,
I'm all like, I need to know about your fridge, Angelique. You didn't tell me.
What's up with the appliances, Angelique? Where is your cake? Where's your cheese? What the heck? Friends don't not tell friends about appliances in the kitchen.
I thought I was in the know.
I know we have a what's it called? What's it called? We have a stainless black steel.
Ooh, those are so in right now.
Yeah, a shout out to Josh. I was in Hawaii when our fridge broke, and he
I remember that.
Yeah. So, pretty much now I don't have really plants on the fridge. I have a little tiny ledge with like I have like a little the Adansonii prop that we shouted out last like a few weeks ago.
Yes,
that's on the fridge now because it has a tiny little corner. But this big pothos, if it were on the fridge, it was already touching the ground. That's how long it got.
Damn. So what did you do with it?
Well, it's now, I didn't cut it. I might have to just make a choice. So you remember how above my toilet in the bathroom has like the thing that holds stuff? It's like the top left corner of the bathroom. It's like on the very edge of it. And then the leaves go all the way to the end of the shower across the room.
Oh, I bet that's really jungly and pretty.
It's very jungly. I think I'm getting used to it, but I sometimes am hit or miss about when pothos get that big and it just seems like there's a lot of it,
I hear you.
I'll send you a picture later, but it's like I need to water it. Like it's been a few weeks and it's like I have to because I'm so out of space right now that between all the pothos leaves, I've stuck little plants in between.
So cute.
I think that's why it looks full. So I need to take those down so I can take this down so that I can water it. So it's like it's the whole thing because I don't want to water it up there and then there's water damage on the thing above the toilet. I don't own it.
Yeah.
So We'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. But it's, I mean, it looks happy and it's up there with the little remember how you had a Hoya outdoors that you gave me that had like a mermaidy shelly terracotta pot? Does that ring a bell?
Mermaidy.
Maybe not mermaid. Like it was a terracotta pot that had like shapes sticking out of it. Does that make sense?
Oh, I think so. Yes.
It looks like a pubic calyx, I think.
It's the Royal Hawaiian purple.
Yes.
Royal Hawaiian purple.
But it's bright. It's purple. Are the flowers
The
purple?
new leaves come out purple. Has it had a new leaf yet?
So I was convinced it was dead most of the week, most of the time I've had it. But then yesterday I looked above my head and I saw 2 little leaves.
Are they like dark eggplant color?
They're not, but I don't know if I like missed when they came in. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, got it. Yes, because they come in like bright purple. They're
Oh, I'm gonna show you a picture. I'm excited. Josh and I are working on a new corner in the office, so it's gonna go in there. So I'm really excited.
Oh my god!
Sorry, guys. I know that was a big deter from what we're talking about, but
yes, I mean, we're getting excited over new leaves and stuff. It just goes to show, like, you guys can pick up cheap plants. The other thing that I really love doing is, because, you know, at this point, I really like having a curated collection, of course. But if you guys can really hone in on common plants that you like, so I just got a Tenanthe Burl Marks. It's in the Calathea family.
Yeah.
Well, I have been looking at that particular plant for a long time. And as you guys know, they're pretty easy to find in nurseries or plant shops, and they're relatively cheap. I think I paid like $15 for it. But I will tell you, it brings me so much joy walking back and forth and just seeing the plant there. And it was so cheap. So sometimes I think maybe we get a little caught up in like the super, super rare plants. But
yeah,
there's something to be said about just going to a plant nursery, buying a plant and bringing it home. I mean, because that's why most of us fell in love with plants to begin with. Yeah. So maybe just get back to our roots, so to speak, and find something that's beautiful and easy and cheap.
if you guys like succulents and cacti and you're in an environment that can grow them well, sometimes like all it takes is a little $3 starter succulent to be like,
they're always very cheap too. Yes. And I will say too, another thing with, you know, helping with the plant burnout is really getting to know your plants.
Yes.
Like, I think that helps. That's helped me so much. There always comes a period of time where I'm getting a lot of plants and I just don't know them. Like, I feel like I have personal relationships with all my plants. Where I'm like, I know what you need. I can look at them and I'm like, you need water. You're fine. Bitch, you're fine. Calm down. You know? But then when there are new plants, I'm like, wait, are you okay? I don't know. Is this normal for you? So when you're feeling overwhelmed, it really helps when you just give yourself time. Like, try not to bring in a whole lot of plants unless they're easy, and you'll just get used to the amount you have. And that also helps you know what a good number for you is. Like, I really like to have just under 100 plants or a little bit over, but I don't like to have more than 150. And with collecting plants for about 3 years, that's my number that's comfortable. But maybe for you, it's 200, maybe it's 300, maybe it's only 50 plants. But I think like being real with yourself and being like, this is all I can physically handle, and just stick to that, you know? And
be okay with that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an exact, like, I probably have about maybe 120 plants right now, and soon to be more, but I just think giving yourself time really to know the needs of your plants helps so much with feeling overwhelmed.
Totally. I think just be like, it's a matter of being honest with yourself, you know, and just seeing what works for you. And it's like, it's going to be okay. There's always going to be someone that can take it. There's always something, you know.
Yes. It gets better.
Yes. Oh my God. There was one thing I wanted to mention before we wrap up.
Yes.
Going off of plant burnout, you can get burnt out with supplies.
Yes.
Like I just did a big purge this week of pots. Just like, I think especially with terracotta, it's easy just to like build up flower pots and stuff. And it's just, you know, I feel like the more I'm getting into plants, like the more I'm having. I want decorative, I want ceramic, I want fun, surprising colors. And, you know, it's not always terracotta. And it's like, I got rid of decorative ones too. And it was just like, just again giving them away, just like not worrying about trying to make $1 off of it, just like
Yeah.
take this. I get overwhelmed when I can't even find like the Super Thrive because there's so many things piled on it, and it's just a matter of
so true.
Yeah, I think it's important to see like, do I have too much? Do I have enough? And if you purge, what do I need now that I never had?
And a lot of times when, we talk about plants that no longer spark joy, there are a lot of pots that no longer spark joy. And I'm like,
And that's
why did I have to buy this? I'm like, oh, I don't like this. But,
Right.
I recently gifted a pot with a little aloe baby to my mother-in-law, and she loved it. She's like, this pot's so beautiful. And it's just like a plain white pot. But since I'm personally moving away from white ceramic pots, I'm just like, not really. I've never really been a huge fan, but I had these, but some people really love it. So it all kind of goes back around. Like
goes in phases. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
Gosh,
nice.
this was a good episode. I feel good about
It was
it.
a good episode. Hopefully you
Yeah.
guys could take away some little tips.
Definitely.
And, just know that it's okay if you're feeling stressed out. Just get rid of some plants and just remember that plants are there for you. We're there to take care of them, but they are also here to take care of us.
And it's okay.
Yes.
Well, Holly, where can the people find you on the socials?
So you guys can find me at Concrete Botanical pretty much everywhere, and then just shop Concrete Botanical. I'm on YouTube, Concrete Botanical, and I think that's it, right? Oh, my shop, concretebotanical.com.
Yes. And on Instagram, there's an underscore at the end.
There's an underscore. If you type in Concrete Botanical, it'll most likely pop up. But yeah, there is an underscore.
And you guys can find me at Sucka for Plantas with 2 C's. And you can catch Boozy at Boozy Botanical Podcast. We drop new episodes every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. So if you want to watch our faces or look at all my show and tells.
That's right. Angelique always has really good show and tells.
I'm just like, look at me, guys. Look at me.
And if you guys wouldn't mind giving us a 5-star rate and review on Apple Podcasts, we would love you forever.
Yes, we might be doing, maybe we're doing some giveaway stuff soon. So guys, get on it. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
You guys, it's been another episode of the Boozy Botanical Podcast. And on that note,
cheers.